It's really interesting about directing and producing in theater. I started out as an actress, which most people start out as, and it's a great way to get a sense of all of it and to understand how terrifying that is, how extraordinary that is. And I think the thing about producing and directing, the thing about theater in general that I think is so important is that there's this long process, and you start as a producer very early. I'll be attracted to a writer, and most of the time at the Magic, I'll be attracted either to an idea that a writer has. Louis Salfato came and sent me 10 pages of Oedipus El Rey. It is I don't want to diminish it because it's a sizable endeavor, but he sent me the first 10, 20 pages of his redreaming of the Oedipus myth. Okay, we all read Oedipus in school, and he redreams it as a rich contemporary member of of our cultural world. He redreams it as a Chicano. He redreams it as a, a, a man who's born and raised in Los Angeles. So it has a kind of LA Chicano swagger at the same time he loves the classics. So, I mean, I read 20 pages as a producer and I try and imagine what the rest of the story will be. And I try and imagine how I want to stretch my audience, what I think is something that is substantive, challenging, entertaining, passionate. Like I'm always thinking about what would I like to see. I've never stopped being that audience member that I was as a second grader, seriously. And people ask, and I think that there's a kind of humility that goes with that. So as a producer, I'm trying to think about the people that are sitting in the seats. What will they want? What do I want to spend a couple of hours with? I want it to be important. I want to laugh. I don't mind crying a little bit too. I want to be moved. So a producer's thinking about all those things, but every producer is going to have their own aesthetic. But I'm thinking about the season, and for me, it's 5 plays. So as a producer, I'm thinking about 5 opportunities to have a conversation with an audience. And I think about my audience. I'm aspirational. I think about the audience I have, which is astounding, and I think about the audience I want. And I think about that audience as a slice of the world. I want diversity. And when I say that, I mean that in a myriad of ways. I'm thinking about programming and writing for a wide variety of ages, a wide variety of cultural backgrounds, a wide variety of economic backgrounds. And I want plays that speak to one another in odd ways. So if you come for all 5, there's a dialogue you're having with us that I hope is stretching you as a human being, that's restoring faith and humanity for you, that's asking the right kind of questions, and I hope feels like they're stories that you leave the theater with that that have some hang time, that have some resonance. So as a producer, I'm thinking about those kind of big picture things. Separating that from who I am as a director is sometimes hard because I've been doing this for 23 years. I've been in this as a professional director, producer for 23 years, and almost half of it has been as a freelance director, and the other half has been as a producer director. So as a I fall in love with plays all the time as a producer that I don't want to direct, that I can't wait to give to another director. But as a director, your role is to serve the play, to bring to life this child that has come to you on the page that was never intended to be read. They're not novels. They're not short stories. They're pieces of writing that a writer has done sort of as a solo, very solitary endeavor. And then you're the first person that the writer entrusts. So the director is a kind of midwife. And so my role is to stretch the writer to keep reaching, and for me to think about what those pages do three-dimensionally, and that includes how they enlist an actor, how they enlist a team of visual and oral artists, and how they never forget that the audience is the sort of third. I mean, I like to see it, think of it as like a stool, a three-legged stool. There's the writing, there's the conduit, the acting, and then there's the audience that communes with it. So, a director is a midwife, is a shrink, is a mommy, is definitely a mom, and also a great editor and a great champion, but a rigorous champion of writers. I've almost solely done new work, and I take that job very seriously, and I revere the writers I work with, but I also keep the bar really high because I think that the art form offers the opportunity to change people's lives, and I want to make sure that the writer is as rigorous as possible. So the jobs aren't, for me, mutually exclusive as a producing director, but they do separate. I mean, a producer's looking at the bigger, larger whole. The director's job is really as birthing that particular piece of writing and bringing it to the audience.